Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going on a truly fascinating journey in this explainer. We're going to demystify what is happening at the absolute cutting edge of artificial intelligence, and even better, we're going to show you how to build your very own digital worker. So if you've been hearing all the buzz around AI agents lately and you're wondering what the hype is all about, well, you are in exactly the right place. Okay, let's dive straight into our roadmap. We'll be covering 1. What is an AI agent? 2. Real business scenarios. 3. The building blocks. 4. How to build your own. 5. Is it free? And finally, 6. The top AI agents of 2026. And I promise you right now, you won't need a single line of coding experience to master this by the end of our session. Section 1. What is an AI agent? The evolution from chat to action. To really wrap our heads around this, we have to understand a massive, massive shift in the tech world. We have officially moved past the era where AI was just a novelty chatbot. We're in an era of action now. Listen closely to these verbs. An AI agent is software that can think. It makes decisions. It reads data, uses tools, and acts autonomously to achieve a specific goal. We really need to break that misconception that AI is just a chat box. An agent is totally goal-driven. You give it an objective, and it figures out the steps entirely on its own. So it all comes down to the difference between a thinker and a doer. Consider ordinary ChatGPT for a second. It's brilliant, sure, but it simply answers your questions. It's kind of like a consultant. But an AI agent doesn't just give you advice. It literally rolls up its sleeves and executes the work. It's exactly the difference between asking someone for a recipe and having a chef actually cook the meal for you. Section 2. Real business scenarios. Solving everyday pain points instantly. Let's take this from theory to reality, right? How does this doer actually function? Well, imagine a customer sends an email at 2 a.m. asking, "Where's my order?" Instead of waiting for a human to log in hours later, a customer support agent springs right into action. First, it extracts the order ID. Second, it actively searches your company's database. Third, it grabs that shipping status. And fourth, it crafts a perfectly polite reply and sends it to the customer. All 4 steps happen completely autonomously, zero human intervention required. Now, for the digital entrepreneurs out there, especially our Etsy sellers, this next one is totally for you. Creating product listings? Exhausting, right? But an Etsy SEO agent can completely automate that whole process. You literally just give it a product topic, then the agent conducts keyword research, analyzes what your competitors are doing, creates a super optimized title, writes a compelling description, generates tags, and delivers a final publish-ready file to you. Hours of tedious manual work condensed into seconds. It's a real game changer. But hey, it's not just e-commerce. Let's look at a traditional corporate environment. Take a company like SS Digital India, for example. They rely on daily Excel reports. Instead of some poor employees spending their entire afternoon crunching numbers, an Excel report agent dives right into those spreadsheets. It reads the files, calculates the sales data, dynamically creates charts, formats a beautiful PDF report, and even sends it out via automated emails to all the stakeholders. That manual mind-numbing repetition of corporate reporting is just entirely eliminated. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer logic of the workflow. If an executive at SS Digital India simply commands the agent to make last month's sales report, the agent triggers this exact 5-step process. It reads, it analyzes, it charts, it formats, and it delivers the final download link. The human merely provides the goal, and the agent completely figures out the execution. Section 3. Building blocks. Demystifying the technology. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds like pure magic. How does it actually work? Well, think of an AI agent like a digital employee. It really just needs 4 core components. First, a brain. That's your large language model, like OpenAI, Gemini, or Claude. Second, memory. So it doesn't just forget what you talked about 5 minutes ago. Third, hands. We call these tools. The ability to physically connect to Excel, WhatsApp, or run a web search. And finally, a workflow, which is just the logical sequence of tasks it needs to follow to get the job done. Brain, memory, hands, and a plan. Simple as that. Section 4. How to build your own. Multiple paths to creation. So, now that we know what makes an agent tick, how do you actually get one for yourself? The great news? There are multiple paths here. Method 1 relies on no-code platforms. Tools like N8, Floweyes, Defy, and Make are absolutely revolutionizing this space. You don't need to know Python. You don't need a computer science degree. These platforms use a visual drag-and-drop interface. You literally drag a brain block over, connect it to a Google Sheets tool block, and boom, you've built an agent. It's the ultimate solution for business owners wanting to automate without hiring a whole dev team. However, I do want to briefly acknowledge the other path for the tech enthusiasts and engineers out there. If you prefer deep customization and you know how to code, Method 2 is your jam. Python coding frameworks like LangChain, CrewAI, and AutoGen let you build incredibly complex multi-agent systems. We're talking setups where different AI agents actually talk to each other and collaborate on complex coding or research tasks. Section 5. Is it free? Understanding costs and budgets. Okay, so the tech is available and it's easier to use than ever. But I know what you're wondering. The biggest burning question is always about cost. Well, the answer is that it can be completely free, but there's a slight catch. If you use powerful local setups, meaning you run the AI directly on your own computer hardware using tools like Ollama, Flowise, and the N8N Community Edition, it is 100% free. However, if you want to use the absolute best premium external brains like GPT-4 or Claude, you are going to have to pay API charges based on how much data you process. To really cement the immense value of what you're getting here, whether you use a free or paid model, let's quickly recap that massive Etsy workflow. A well-built agent takes your product topic, extracts SEO keywords, creates the title and description, generates tags, makes a prompt for your thumbnail image, and compiles the final PDF product. This is a massive, multi-step business process that used to take hours of manual human labor. And what does the number one represent? One click. That entire 6-step workflow we just looked at can be executed flawlessly with exactly one click from the user. No way, right? But that is the true power of autonomous AI agents. They don't just assist you, they handle the heavy lifting while you focus on actually scaling your business. Section 6. Top AI Agents of 2026. The upcoming opportunities. We've seen what they can do today, but the landscape of upcoming opportunities is just massive. The sheer variety of high-demand agents is absolutely staggering. This brilliantly illustrates how incredibly broad the demand is going to be by 2026. We're talking everything from e-commerce with Shopify order agents to content creation with YouTube and social media agents, all the way over to traditional corporate roles like accounting and HR recruitment agents. Every single sector is going to be touched by this. If a job involves taking data, processing it, and moving it somewhere else, you better believe an agent is being built for it right now. So how do you get ahead of this curve? I want to leave you with a highly actionable takeaway today. If you want to start experimenting right away with absolutely zero coding required, this is your ultimate starter stack. Use N8N as your workflow builder, plug in OpenAI or Google Gemini as your brain, and connect it to Google Sheets as your database. This exact combination is the absolute easiest, most popular way to start building your own custom agents for things like Etsy, YouTube, or basic data entry. Which leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial thought to ponder. As this technology evolves from novelty chatbots into fully autonomous digital workers that execute tasks flawlessly, by 2026, will you be using AI agents to scale your goals, or will you find yourself competing against them? The choice is entirely yours, and the tools are right there waiting for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's explainer, and I highly encourage you to go out there and start experimenting with your own starter stack.